Through this video, many people will be meeting Brody for the very first time. What do you hope they think when they see Brody for the first time?
I actually was thinking about this because I was so worried of like comments being like, oh, because I'm just used to bad reactions for him, which is an awful thing to be used to and expecting. But I just hope people can see that he is happy and he is very spoiled. So of course he's gonna be happy. And he knows it. And I hope people will look at him as a person and nothing else. Right? Hi, Bubba. Where are you wanting to go? The door?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Brody.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Does Brody speak?
He says hi, and I like to think I taught him that. Hi, Bubba.
Hey, Brody.
Say hi.
Hi, Brody. It's nice to meet you.
Say hi.
Should I give him a hug?
He'll probably want a high five, so if you just put your hand out like this, put it down. Look, right there.
Thanks for the high five, Brody.
There you go.
I'm happy to be here with you. We're going to be friends.
Oh.
You're an awesome person. I'm really, really, really happy to be here with you. Friends, friends, friends. Hi, Brody. Hi. I'm Chris. I'm really happy I get to spend time with you today. I'm having a lot of fun with you. It's great to meet you. How old is Brody?
Brody is 14 and he will be 15 January 22nd. And that's just crazy to say. Because when he was first born, I was 5 years old. And I don't remember a lot when I was younger. I just remember being told, okay, you're going to come meet your brother, but you're probably not going to have long with him. And I was like, what? Like, I was being told this as a kindergartner. And so my mom has told me, like, when he was first born, the doctor said, okay, he's not going to make it through the night. He's not going to make it through this day. He's not going to make it past 3 years old. We're about to be 15. So, very, very proud of him. He is very strong. And he knows. And he knows that he can get what he wants. Yes, you do.
Tell me about your son, Brody.
This is Brody, and he is just about 15 years old, and he has Van Maldergem syndrome and an allelic syndrome called Hinnecam syndrome.
How do these syndromes impact Brody?
Facial differences. He's considered deafblind. He has hand contractures. He has a trach because he has tracheomalacia. He has a G-tube for feeding. I don't really know what to say for all of this stuff. Like, sorry.
Is it overwhelming?
Well,
For her, yes.
hold on. Okay.
What does it feel like emotionally to talk about all of your son's disabilities?
It's hard. I feel like for the entire time that he's been with us, I've been almost waiting for the floor to fall out from underneath us. And I have done everything that I can and continue to do what I can to keep that from happening. And having such rare syndromes, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just chasing the symptoms and trying to figure out what I can do to keep him as healthy as I can. And I feel like most of the time I'm trying to tell the doctors what he's doing and what I think we should do, and asking for advice. And sometimes I can't get any, and I'm having to tell them what I think we should do.
What is that thing you're holding up to him?
This is his pulse ox. Basically, it checks his heart rate and his something else. I don't know. But he loves the beeping sound of it. But we have to hold it because he will throw it. Not out of anger or anything, just because he's very happy about it. No, we're not going to throw it.
How often does he throw things?
All the time. When he's done with a toy, he will throw it. So you have to have good little reflexes when you're around him, because you could just peacefully be sitting in the corner of his mat with him on your phone, minding your own business. He likes company. So you're just spending time with him, and when he's done with the toy, he will throw it. It could come in your direction. It might not. We don't know. So you gotta be aware of your surroundings with him. What's it in his head? Mr. Chris is not gonna hit your head.
You're my friend. I'm not going to hit your head. I'll give you a high five, though. Why does he like when people hit his head?
I think it's the pressure. It feels good to him. So that's why he'll do it to you, because he thinks you'll like it. He likes to be mischievous sometimes. He's a little turd sometimes on purpose to me and my sisters.
What does he do?
He will purposely... He'll nicely say, so his one little word that he does is hi. He loves saying hi. But with my youngest sister, he'll be like, hi. Pull her over and then pull her hair. And he thinks it's so funny to get a reaction from her.
What is it like to have a brother like Brody?
It's definitely different than how it would normally be having a brother, because sometimes you have to plan around a nurse's schedule if I want to hang out with friends and do things. But it's really nice because he doesn't bully me as much as an actual brother would.
How old are you, Cecily?
I'm 10.
How old is your brother?
14 turning 15 on Wednesday.
What's it like for him to be your older brother?
Sometimes he actually feels like my younger brother. No. He sometimes feels like my younger brother because sometimes I have to take care of him. And having an older brother, you think he'd take care of you.
How do you take care of him?
I have to watch him sometimes. We don't have nurses since we don't have them on Saturdays and Sundays. And I also sometimes just get to play with him and make him happy.
He's a bit of a Sour Patch Kid. If he goes in to give you a hug, just be careful because he'll hug you and then he might try to, knock you in the head. So he's not doing it to be malicious, but he's doing it to get a reaction because he's into like a lot of cause and effect. So if he knows that if he does this and you'll say, ow, like that's a reaction to something. So that's kind of the level he's at with toys. Like if I push this button, the light will go off. If I push this button, the sound will go off. If I smack you, you'll say, ow, or you'll know. So it's not malicious, but it is a reaction.
Hi, Brody.
Say hi.
I noticed that whenever he gets close to me, you're kind of like spotting him. Is that because you're not sure if it's a hug or if
Or you will be hit in the head.
Get hit in the head,
yes. Because he likes to be a little trickster sometimes and play jokes.
We got a prankster here.
He's a hard kid to figure out. And it hasn't always been like this. I feel like the more he's becoming aware, the more he's understanding that we aren't understanding him. And I think that's part of it.
What are some signs that he's growing frustrated with his inaccessibility to communication?
Well, he'll yell. Just yell at you.
What's it like when you're out in public and he has loud vocalizations like that? How does everybody react?
They react like a bomb went off. Like, oh my. But it's just how he communicates.
How do you want people to react when that happens?
Hi. I mean, look at the sound, look away.
But one thing he has been able to figure out is that when he wants something, he has to take you to it. So he will, like, if he wants a toy that he can't get to or wants to go play in the sink with the water, he will physically take you to the sink to turn the water on. He does a lot of hand over hand, and he actually taught us to do that. Once we stopped trying to teach him how to communicate with us, he kind of showed us how to communicate with him.
Where are you wanting to go?
How can you tell he wants to go somewhere?
He probably wants to get up and go to that. But he's like pulling our hands up. He wants to stand. He likes to go to this door and open it and close it.
Let's do it.
You want to go close the door? Come on. Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay!
How often does he do that?
All the time. He will yell at you until you close the door for him.
How many people in the world have Van Maldergem?
If I had to guess right now, I would say maybe 25 to 30. And there's a couple of kids on the east coast of the United States, I think might be the oldest ones that I know of, and they're probably in their early 20s.
How does Van Maldergem impact a person?
Well, in Brody's case, his ability to learn, his vision, his hearing, his ears, and his nair, like everything is a lot smaller than it should be. Like it didn't develop all the way. So like nobody's ever been able to see his eardrums with like a scope. Only time you've ever been able to see it is through a scan, like under anesthesia. So his ear holes are super small. His nairs are super small.
Is Brody considered deafblind?
Yes.
Tell me about how he explores his environment.
He's very tactile. He can see enough to navigate where he's going. He has cortical blindness. So from what I've learned about that, when he is walking, he started walking when he was about 8 years old. But when he's walking, he has to have flat surfaces if it's not familiar. And it's helpful when it is all the same, like same color. So if it's a change in color, it's hard to distinguish if it is level. Like if it's tile that changes color, it could look like it's not even, or it could look like a hole in the floor.
What is he doing right now?
He is just looking at the light right now. He likes really bright colors, and if this made sound, this would be like his favorite toy ever. This is actually his favorite toy. It's a turtle. I don't know why. It's always been his favorite. This is probably like the 7th one because he will throw it, and the head is actually coming off because he throws it so much. But he's just looking at the light right now, and he just likes it because it's so bright. And for his birthday, we're gonna get him like this giant it's this big circle that he can go on it, he can bang on it, do whatever, and it lights up. So I'm super excited about him getting that.
Why does he like light so much?
I think because of his blindness, and it's just I don't know, I think it really is just because of his blindness and not being able to see as well. But when he's this close to the colors, he can.
So he has light perception.
Yes. We don't know what his favorite color is, but I like to say it's red or blue. because he has this one little toy that he will only click the blue button on. So, and that was him banging his tooth because he has a sensory thing with banging his teeth, but it's just this one front little tooth right there that he likes to bang. And we don't do that.
They said it was enough of a deficit to consider blindness. And then with his hearing, because his holes in his ears the opening is so small, it's a conductive loss. So from what they've been able to tell, the structure of his ear is there, but the sound can't get into his ear as well as it needs to. So because this hole is so small, it's enough to consider deaf. So he is deafblind. It is like a spectrum, and Brody is on the severe end of the spectrum. There are other kids who are young adults that are functioning and live lives with jobs and go to school and have less severe symptoms. But Brody, unfortunately, is on the end of it that has a lot of the medical issues and the physical issues, and so I don't want to misrepresent and speak for everyone, but this is just how Brody is with this syndrome.
Tell me all about your son.
Well, he's 15, right around almost 15, coming up here in a week, a little less than a week. He's energetic, can be a little hard-headed when he wants something. He all he knows right now is just love.
What is the most important thing for other people to understand about Brody?
This is his norm. Not everybody sees it the same. Everybody's norm is different. And for him, this is what he knows and is not everybody's normal. If you understand what I'm saying, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain, but the way he is and the way he acts is who he's supposed to be, and it's normal for him. Even though other individuals don't feel the same.
What do you hope other people think when they see Brody's norm?
What I hope they think? That he's a beautiful human being that shows nothing but love, but unfortunately is just not the way society is.
What do people often say?
They question and stare, and some kids, obviously, they're in awe because they're not taught what kids that grow up with challenges have to overcome.
What was it like when he was first born?
Terrifying. It was when I said that I was waiting. It's like waiting for the floor to fall out from beneath us. It stems from that because, I was told when I was pregnant with him to basically prepare for stillbirth, and then
That was right before the C-section. We were told we were lucky to have 2 healthy children.
Yeah, and then the doctor came, the NICU doctor came in and said, what do you want us to do? We can kind of do whatever you need. Like, we can help him. We can let nature take its course and hand him to you, and he can pass while you hold him. And he wasn't supposed to make it to 37 weeks, and I said, well, let's, we've gone this far, if you can help him, help him. He said, okay. So they did the C-section, and they intubated him almost right away. I just remember seeing him right before they wheeled him out, and he was a big, purple, puffy baby he was so swollen that he just had holes in the side of his head. You couldn't even see the cartilage where his ears were because he had so much fluid on him. And they said, well, we don't think he'll make it through the night. Made it through the night. We don't think he'll make it 72 hours. He made it 72 hours. We don't think he'll make it the week. 5 months later, with a colostomy and a trach and a G-tube, we came home and with a 2-year life expectancy. And here we are.
He's really sensory seeking sometimes, and that's why he hits, pulls hair. But all we really have to do is like show him some of his like favorite things. We can hit the ground, tap his chest right here.
One thing I do like is spending time with you, Brody. Is it important for people to talk directly to Brody and communicate to him?
Yes, I like it. He does, but I really like it. He wants you to hit his back. And
So is it okay if I give the little vibration?
yeah, he likes it. He just likes to be hit.
Well, I will, I guess you could say hit, but to bring you joy.
And I think it's also with his swelling that he likes being hit like that.
Tell me about his swelling.
It's his edema, and basically his whole left side of his body is super swollen.
Tell me a little bit about the swelling he has throughout his body.
So, on top of having Van Maldergem syndrome, he has Hennekam syndrome also, which is another syndrome from the same mutated gene. So that causes lymphangiectasia, which is a lymphatic disorder. So the swelling is from his lymphatic system not draining properly.
What's your favorite thing about your brother?
Probably just how happy he is all the time. Well, sometimes he gets upset, but he's also really strong, which like inspires me every day. He's been through so much, so he's like the strongest person that I know. He's very mad. Okay, hold on, Brody. Here. Okay.
If he wants something, does he just go for it?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Hey, you sit, Mackenzie? Come on, let's sit there.
Tell me about how all your siblings work together to kind of take care of Brody.
I would say that we all like pitch in taking care of Brody, especially with like the nursing. It's unreliable at times, so to help out my parents, all my siblings like help with Brody as much as we can, like cleaning and everything like that.
It's been a challenge at times. It's hard. It's honestly, and I do personally carry a lot of guilt. Sometimes I worry that like I said, I haven't been present at times where I feel like I needed to be present for the girls because I was preoccupied with all of Brody's needs, being in the hospital or being at home, and then Justin's had to pick up the slack with the girls and being there for them when I couldn't be. That's made it hard. And then it's hard too to not feel like sometimes like, well, why do I have to be the one that carries all of that weight for him? Carry all the weight of Brody on my shoulders, but then he has to be the one to go to work, so he has to carry all the weight of making sure the household, we pay our bills and all that gets taken care of, so he has a different kind of burden on his shoulders.
What is it like for you to see the relationship Brody and Keely have?
It's very, very happy. It makes me really happy. I like to see him interacting, his emotions when she shows up home. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do the same with him, and it's my fault. So I work all the time. It's fortunate.
What is it like to have to work constantly when you have a child who has really high support needs?
It's stressful in my life. It's a burden for her, and because I have to go to work. If not, then there's not much help out there for us. A lot of it depends on what I make, that's what we get. So I work 6-7 days a week.
What's the most important thing other people can know about your family?
We're just like any other family. We are really strong. We've been through a lot, and I would just say that just try to be understanding for us, I guess. I don't know, like when we're in public, just don't stare. Like especially if you're just like not used to it, but it's really uncomfortable for us if we're out in public and you're just staring at us. I know me and my older sister Keely will sometimes walk in front of Brody, especially when we're out in public, because people will stare. And I know Brody doesn't know it, but we know it, and we don't like that at all.
I hate when people stare. It is so hard for me. I think I'm like the worst at it with anyone in this house. I will stare at whoever back. If it's a child, a grown adult, I will stare right back at that person until they stop. It's just, I don't know, it's really hard for me when people stare at him. It bothers me, and I have to understand, like, children, yes, but when grown adults stare at him, it's like, I don't even know. It's hard for me.
What if people stare, but then say, hey, nice to meet you?
It's a lot different when they do that. It makes me happy. People want to meet him, and he loves being talked to. And so if you just come up and talk to him, he will love it. He just loves communication. He loves being treated like everyone else.
And the fact that he took my hand and placed it on him and asked for sensory, to me communicates that he's comfortable.
Yes, he does not always do that. Family members that we don't see a lot, he will never do that because they don't look at him like we do.
I heard you ask one of the girls about how does it make you feel when you see somebody interacting with Brody or playing with Brody, and that makes me feel so good when I see somebody talking to Brody and interacting with Brody on like a normal level, like you would with someone else, like a normal, typical functioning kid. It feels so good to see somebody treat him like he's a person and not a sick kid in a wheelchair that looks different. And not everybody can do that because not everybody's exposed to stuff like that. And I understand, but when that does happen, it does go a long way, and it makes me feel really good.
Hi, Brody. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm having so much fun with you. You want some sensory?
Of course.
What's it like for you when you see somebody new interact and get along with Brody?
I love it. It's amazing.
Tell me about Brody's relationship with his siblings.
He loves them very much, and they love him too. When I look back on pictures too, especially with this one, when I do group pictures with just the four of them, like she's always been the one to hold him to make sure he's sitting up and looking at the camera, and being the one, like if we go take bluebonnet pictures, he's holding him in the bluebonnets or holding him with Santa Claus or holding, she's always been the one to take care of him like that. And I never noticed until, I noticed, but I didn't until I looked at the bigger picture. It's like, wow, over all these years, even when she was super little, 6 years old or whatever, she was taking care of him like that.
How do you feel when you're this close to your brother?
Happy. I think about him all the time when I'm not with him. Like if I'm at school, I think about him. If I'm just upstairs in my room and he's asleep, I feel bad for not spending more time with him during the day. I think about him a lot.
What's it like for you when you see him express happy emotions?
It makes me happy. My wife and I went through a lot when he was younger, and seeing him here and not being in the hospital, we spent a lot of time when he was younger in and out of the hospital, which made it really stressful. So seeing him not there, being happy, seeing him going outside, when he goes out there, he just gets so emotional and happy.
Has Brody impacted your life direction?
Yes. Because of him, I work in a special needs classroom. Hi, Bubba. I work in a special needs classroom, and I love it. Hi, Bubba. 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 Hi, Bubba.
When somebody finishes watching this video, what do you hope they remember most from it?
Brody's laughter and smile.
I hope they remember that.
He has a loving family and support system. With us, with my sisters for sure.
Yeah. I hope they remember that we're just trying our best.
What do you want other people to understand about Brody?
That he can understand what you're saying, and he knows when he's being bad and when he's being good, and that he will purposely sweeten you up just to get what he wants, and that he is the same as you or your kid or anyone else you're ever going to come into. He's the same. We're all different in our own ways.